up in Hope.
Oh.
Yeah. So what is your visit?
Miss Jackie, how you doing today? We're here concerned about the current budget. Budget cuts that are coming down. And we have a recipe here that we would like you to present to Mr. Graham. So this convenience. My name is Warren. I'm the People's Affairs Coalition. I also show some as you can see. And this recipe.
So I see you have Mary Center also in different places.
Yes, we go around and introduce everyone.
Oh,
right.
okay.
So Eric, you want to start?
I'll start. Well, I'm Eric Sheptok, and I'm a pretty well-known homeless advocate here in Washington, D.C., and so my focus is obviously on the homeless issue, and I just left a meeting a couple hours ago where we were trying to figure out how we're going to deal with the fact that D.C., the Homeless Services Department, we're looking at a $20 million budget gap for 2012, and trying to figure out what to cut. Do you cut year-round shelter for families, or do you cut some other necessary homeless service such as affordable housing money, or things like that? And so this economic downturn, long story short, what it's going to do is it's going to shift the cost, because if you don't pay for housing, then you have to pay for the homeless shelter. And if you don't pay for the homeless shelter, then you have to pay for people who commit crimes to stay alive and end up going to jail. And so no matter how you slice it, there's a certain segment of the population that's going to need some kind of help. And if you don't help them in one way, you're going to help them in another way. But either way, they're going to get that money out of you. So you may as well spend that money in the most productive way. And I'll say this and quit, which is that I watched a young mother testify about how that she went down to the family intake center when she was pregnant, and they turned her away and said, we had nowhere to put you. And then she went back after having the baby, and they had nowhere to put her. And so for the whole first month of the baby's life, she was either sleeping in the Greyhound station or in the stairwell of an unsecured apartment complex.
Right.
And so, that kind of thing is happening in the capital of the wealthiest country in the world. And that, to me, is a major indictment on D.C.
Mm-hmm. And that goes to tell you that the Human Service, Councilmember Graham is the chairman for the Human Services, and with him and David Catania, that they have the health, they got the biggest punch, 113 million cut to their committees. So, and then Councilmember is very out of there. It was like where the priorities were set. When the mayor proposed this budget, but the Human Services and health, there were 113 million cut. So and he understands very well what is going on. He's a warrior.
Is he pushing to reverse those cuts to human services?
He's trying very hard. He's fighting all the way he can to make sure that the neediest people don't get the biggest punch. Because even though the budget, there was some increasing into other agencies, but what about the human services? So that's what he has been on point on emphasizing that and highlighting that.
Right.
Yeah. It's 13 of them, so you have to make sure that all of you guys, you have them on your side. I mean,
we've got people going around to all the other councils.
Yeah. So
Maybe do we want to keep going around?
I'm Tyke Berry. I'm with Progressive Democrats of America, and I'm also a member of Code Pink. And just a little quick story is today I was on my way to my office, and I went underneath an overpass on the other side of Independence, over by 12th, and there was a whole group of people that had made places to sleep to keep out of the rain, and they were scooped up by police at 6 o'clock in the morning. All their belongings are left there on the street, and they were pushed into a van and driven off. I pulled over to park to watch it. It's a travesty. Okay. It's just on the other side, on an overpass by Main Street, on the other side, by where you get off the 295, right there. And I mean, here's people who are trying to make it in life, and even when they're trying to make it, we make it even more difficult for them. And they were begging them to take their things with them, and they refused. It's just so sad. And to stop traffic at 6 o'clock in the morning, to make people, to push people, put them in handcuffs and put them in a van, it's just a sin. Thank you.
My name is Burke Sansbury. I work with our Safety Net Coalition. And I just want to let you know that we're doing a walking tour tomorrow in Columbia Heights, Ward 1 Safety Net Cuts neighborhood walking tour. So we're going to be going around to some of the different service providers that would have their services cut or their budgets cut under this budget proposal. So hopefully, maybe I can pass some information on to you. It'd be great if the council member. It's at 5:30 tomorrow. Meeting at the Columbia Heights Metro Station, and maybe.
5 o'clock.
Is it 5 o'clock? I think it's 5:30. 5:30. Yeah.
So you're gonna start there?
Gonna start there and then go around to some different places. So,
And then you're going to party somewhere, aren't you?
yeah, and then there's
afterwards?
going to be a happy hour afterwards too. So
Where's the happy hour at?
Somebody from your office can
What
show
time is
up.
that going to be?
5:30 tomorrow afternoon.
Is this
At
with
Columbia
the Columbia
Heights.
Heights Collaborative?
Yeah, they're also
Okay,
part of it.
so yeah, we will know about it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
We'll just send it from
We're coming from Mary Center, as you know, and we have more than 20 different programs, and all of them somehow are at risk of a budget cut. So that's why we're supporting this. We're here.
And especially the mental health, from the Department of Mental Health, is a big cut.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, talking about Latinos, I mean, that's Mary Center. It's just one of the a few places where they can get mental health services. So we are facing that problem.
I'm Marino. I'm with SEIU Union, and we are also working here to support the child care workers, home providers, teachers, directors, and we are very concerned about the cuts that the city is making cut to the society budget. So we are trying to support the people working in child care to stop that society cuts, and we are working with Empower DC, some other organizations that is doing supporting that work.
And I'm Ben Parisi. I'm organizer of the Child Care for All campaign at Empower DC, and so we're here representing 6,000 employees of the Child Care Subsidy Program who rely on subsidies that the Department of Human Services allocates to the Office of the State Superintendent for Education in order to provide subsidies for thousands of families across the district who need those subsidies in order so they can get to work and provide an income for their family and put food on the table. Without those subsidies, jobs are at risk in the workforce of childcare. These are already mostly women of color who are vastly underpaid for really hard jobs that SEIU represents in some other states. And these are jobs that are critical to ensuring that small businesses like child care centers and homes remain well funded in the district. Not to mention that thousands, tens of thousands of jobs that those people support by virtue of providing child care for low-income families, without which they wouldn't be able to get to work. This is one cut out of $30 million worth of cuts that's come down in the subsidy program over the past 5 years, and which Jim Graham has approved every single time. And we're really grateful that he is now in charge and has a different view on human services, and we really hope that that means that he's going to bring some different leadership to these programs. We know that he's been dealt a pretty bad hand, but he also has before supported progressive income tax to help close these cuts, and we're counting on him to do that again. We know that the mayor has proposed that already. It's a start, but it's not enough. If we really want to help bring down the number of cuts to the human services, then we're going to have to do more on the income tax side. So we'll be looking from you or from other staff or from the council member himself for an indication of where he's going to be standing on that.
I'm Anna. I volunteer for a long time at Bread for the City. I believe they're going to be affected by a number of the different cuts in here, but I'm especially concerned about the cuts to IDA because that's a lifeline for a lot of people.
My name is Allison Burke, and I also work at Bread for the City, and we'll see the impact of all the range of cuts on our clients who rely on those programs to survive, to make it up to the next level, to pick themselves up. And build a better lives for themselves. As a Ward 1 resident, I also look to Jim Graham, who, as you said, is a champion of the human services to find creative alternatives to these cuts through, like has been said, progressive tax increases. And so I look forward to hearing more about what you're doing to protect these programs.
Right. Then he's gonna be calling on you guys also because without the community support, there's not much. It's a team effort when it comes to fighting for these budget cuts, especially when whoever has less gets more cuts.
I'm Lori Leibowitz. This is Rena. We live in Ward 1. When I'm not home hanging out with her, I also work at the Women's Collective, working with HIV-positive women, and we're particularly concerned about all the housing programs and about mental health services, which are really important to these women. And with both of my hats on, where my friends and I in Ward 1 and my colleagues and clients in the Women's Collective are ready to support the council member in progressive tax increases.
Right. Thank you for coming, and this is what community is all about. Making sure that you guys are are aware of this and not gonna let this go by. The 130 million goes by under the carpet and nobody's saying anything. So I'm gonna make sure that the council member gets this.
It's 130 million. You keep saying 113 million. It's 130 million that's being cut from human services, right?
I have the documentation. I think it's 113.
In any case, it's a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
Too much.
Too much.
Yeah, but that's not bad.
Okay.